Okay, so in the last year, I've quit the majority of my bad habits, and it has all stemmed from this one analogy that I came up with that has just severely helped me reconstruct the way that I was trying to quit my bad habits in the past. And so by the end of this video, if you watch this video to the end, I have done hours and years of research on breaking habits. I have done like all the tricks in the book, right? Like I've tried everything. I've tried the atomic habits, put the thing somewhere where you can't find it, remove the cue. I've tried all of those things, and I will tell you there is nothing else that has helped me quit more habits than this. In the last year, I have quit scrolling on social media. I have stopped vaping. I have stopped drinking. I have stopped smoking weed. I have stopped. Honestly, those are just the ones that I can think of. Oh, eating garbage food. Like I've been eating a lot better. I don't know if you can tell if you've been following me for a while, but even if you just look at my videos from a couple months ago, like I look significantly better. Like my face is a lot skinnier. Um, and I'm actually in the best physical condition I've ever been in my entire life, and it's all because of this one analogy. So, when I was younger, I'd say maybe like 10 years old. There was this show that came out on Cartoon Network. It was called Lego Ninjago. Now, if anyone's familiar with this, you remember that shit was dope, bro. Like, I loved Lego Ninjago as a kid. And I loved it so much that I remember I used to get my grades from school, or I had like a, how do you say it? Like a behavior chart. Basically, I'd get like a star every single day on this folder that would go home to my parents at the end of the week saying that like I was behaving in class, right? I went to a private school, so I don't know if that helps you understand this situation a little bit more, but yeah, it was in like fourth grade, and they would give me a star for having like being good in class. And so I would always try to be good in school and get good grades because at the end of the week, every time I got like an A on my homework, my mom would give me like $1. Every time I got a star for the day, I would also get $1. And so roughly every single week I was getting like maybe 12, $13, right? And I would take that and I would go to the store and get like a little Lego Ninjago like action figure. And I became obsessed with Lego Ninjago, right? And eventually I started getting all the like actual box sets to build the Legos. Um, and I'd say probably by the time I was like 12, I had a full display of Legos in my room that were all Lego Ninjago. Like it was like this whole setup. I had like all the sets. I had everything, and it was really cool. Like I remember my friends used to come over and they were like, "Dude, these are so cool! Like you have all these sets." And like I just loved Legos, and that wasn't the only like Legos that I liked. Like I built all sorts of other Legos, like Star Wars. Um, I I can't even think like the Lego City stuff. Like I just loved Legos as a kid, right? One day, I think I was about 13 years old. I got an iPod for my birthday. My parents wouldn't let me have a phone. So they gave me an iPod. And this is funny. I used to have an iPad mini, and I remember because I didn't have a phone and I would like text people, I would go around with the iPad mini. Like say I went over to my friend's house, I would take the iPad mini, turn on the personal hotspot and just leave it somewhere in their house. And then I would use that to like text people. So I always had this iPad mini in my back pocket for the personal hotspot. But anyway, regardless, I at this point I went to a private school, so we only had like 30 kids in our class, and so very quickly we all were making group chats and stuff. This is the time that like Uvu was really big and like Kick. I don't know if you remember any of that stuff. If you were in middle school, high school when that stuff came out, this was probably like 2015. Um, and naturally I got a lot of the girls from my school, I got their phone numbers, and so we started talking and texting and we'd start FaceTiming. And I remember when I started FaceTiming these girls, I didn't want them to see my Lego sets, so I would just move the Lego sets like out of the way of the frame. um, and then eventually uh, I started having like people over to my house more, and we're getting to this age now where like Legos aren't really that cool anymore. So I kind of just would like hide it away when people came over, and then I would pull it out after they left, right? Well, eventually I got a girlfriend. So this is my eighth grade year. I had started dating my first girlfriend, and at the time, like, our hangout sessions was her just coming over to my house, right? And well, the first time she came over to my house, bro, I took those Legos and I put them in a box and I put them in my attic. Okay. I did not want her seeing me with a Lego set. All right. I did not want the Legos all over the place. Now, looking back, like, it's stupid. Who cares? But regardless, I just thought in my brain, like, I don't know, there was some like primal aspect of me that just thought, like, girls probably won't find this attractive. And so I put all the Legos in a box in the attic. And since then, I have probably built like one Lego set. Like, I think I was like 19 or 20, and my aunt got me like a Lego Adidas, like, what's that? The Superstar, like, shoe or whatever. I think that's what it's called. It's like the basic Adidas shoe. I don't wear much Adidas. I'm more of a Nike person. But regardless, I built that Lego, and that was the only Lego set I've built since then. Now, wouldn't it be crazy if I was sitting here today as an adult at 24 years old and I said, it's been 10 years and 6 months since I've touched a Lego set? Wouldn't it be weird if I was counting the days since I built that, like, Lego shoe 4 years ago or 5 years ago, and I was like, it's been 5 years since I touched a Lego set? And when you think about it that way, it's kind of crazy, right? But see, that's exactly how we act with our bad habits. When we have bad habits, instead of just putting them down and never touching them again, our brain says, "Oh, I know. Let's track how many days it's been. Oh, it's been 15 days since I've watched porn." Like, a lot of guys do that. Like, they literally, people will have a no fap streak and they will write it up on, like, their whiteboard in their room on a piece of paper, and they'll say, "Oh, it's been 15 days since I've watched porn." I didn't do that with Legos. The reason why is because it's not this bad habit that I've glorified and turned into this. I've pedestalized it. I haven't pedestalized Legos and said, "Oh my God, it's this bad habit that I have to quit." I just stopped doing it because it no longer aligned with my identity. There's a verse. It's in First Corinthians. I don't know exactly, like, what chapter it is, but the verse is, "When I became a man, I put away childish things." Notice how it's not, "I put away childish things and became a man." It's, "I became a man and put away childish things." Because when you try to remove the habit, nothing happens. Like, you end up just going back to it later. Like, you have your streak of, "Oh, I didn't vape for 2 weeks," and then you just go back to it. When you change your identity, when you become a man, the habit no longer is a problem because you put away the childish things. I recently, like, I quit drinking. Nah, I don't drink, like, I didn't quit drinking, like, completely stone cold sober, but, like, I've probably in the last 3 months I've probably drank like 4 times. And the reason why is because I just don't find enjoyment in it anymore. Like, there was a time period where I genuinely used to find enjoyment. Like, every single weekend, like, I had to scratch that itch. I had to go out and drink with my friends. But more recently, I don't have that itch anymore. So, like, the last time I drank, I went, like, boating one day, and then I went kayaking another day. And those were the only 2 times I think that I can think of that I drank. Oh, and then 4th of July. That's it. So, like, 3 times. Other than that, I think there was, like, one other time where I went to dinner and I remember, like, my friends were drinking and I just got a beer and drank it like it was a soda. I used to sit there and, like, kill beers, but I didn't because I just, like, didn't want to drink. I just thought, screw it, I'll get a beer and have it with my dinner. But it's because my goals are, like, so much more important. My fitness goals are so much more important than drinking. And I feel a lot better. Like, I just know, okay, today's Friday. So let's just say I went out today and decided to drink. I know that when I come home tomorrow, I'm going to feel like shit. I'm going to feel like shit Sunday, and I'm going to feel like shit on Monday as well. 3 days. That is not worth it. To go have a couple drinks, get way too drunk, and feel like, and just waste my time and money out in Nashville with my buddies. Like, yeah, it sounds like fun, but realistically, like, I've thought about this recently too. Like, I don't know. There's maybe a handful of times that I can actually count where I genuinely had a good time when I was drinking. Most of the times, like it wasn't that fun. Like they're all kind of blur together. Like, oh, we went out and we went to this one spot and it was kind of cool, and we met a couple girls there, and we went to this other spot, but it all like blends together. There's no, oh my gosh, like bro, this weekend was so sick. We did this, this, and this, and it was like the greatest time ever. And in fact, some of those times, me and my friends did things that were so stupid that we could have gotten in trouble for it, or we could have, we like arguing, stuff like that, getting angry with like people in the streets and stuff like that. Yeah, all it takes is for one little fight to break out, and now all of a sudden, like, you're on the ground like fighting each other. That's the cost of having alcohol in your life. But when I changed the identity, I no longer wanted to have alcohol in my life. And I didn't do that by stopping and saying, hey, you know what? I don't want to drink anymore. I'm not going to drink. I just don't have, like, the urge to go do it is not there. Like, there's no little monster, as they would say, as Alan Carr would say with the easy peasy method. There's no little monster like saying, oh, you have to go jerk off right now. Like, go jerk off. Just jerk off. Like, that's not there. There's no little monster in my head that's screaming like, go hit your vape, go hit your vape, go hit your vape, go hit your vape, go get a vape right now. Because it doesn't align with my identity. Now, obviously you might be wondering, well, how do I change my identity? To bring this to marketing and business, I say this in a lot of my videos. It is traffic until proven otherwise. I've always said that in business, you don't have any problem in your business until you fix traffic. Until you have 5 to 10 people every single day knocking on your door, begging to work with you, you don't have a problem in your business. Okay? You don't have a sales issue. You don't have a fulfillment issue. You don't have an issue with employees. You don't have a churn problem. Like, you have no problems until people are begging to work with you. And here's the thing. When you flood the system, you find the problems and then you change them. Now, to apply this to your life, what's the traffic? Like take a guess for a second. If we were to apply the same logic to your life, what's the traffic that you would have to add into your life to find the problems? Take a guess. Just take like a wild guess right now. It is inputs. You have to have more inputs in your life, new inputs, to change your life around and to change your identity. Okay? Your identity, identitum, is repeatedly, and essentitas is being. They're both Latin. So identitum and essentitas are the roots of the word identity. Your repeated being is what makes up your identity. And so your inputs create your being. The more that you do, the more that you are that person. Go look at yourself in the mirror. Like, the person that you are today is a construct, and your environment as well. The person that you are and your environment is a construct of the decisions and the actions that you have taken in in your entire life. And more importantly, it's more noticeable in the last 6 to 12 months. If you go look back at my YouTube videos from a year ago, you can tell that I was drinking more because of the way my face looked. You could see it in my face. You could see it in my energy, right? That's what it looks like. When you are living a life where you are doing bad habits, you're trying to change them, but you're trying to fix this itch in your head that's not going to go away until you change the identity. Because when you change the identity, you start looking around, like I said, with traffic in your business, you start finding problems. The same thing applies in your life. You start finding where those things that you found pleasurable and those things that you found fun are no longer fun and pleasurable. They are just chains that are holding you back and keeping you stuck as the version that you are today instead of excelling to the next version of yourself. It's inputs. You have to change the input. So look at what you're doing in your life. Because here's the deal. Right now it's Friday morning, okay? I have a couple meetings today. Usually Fridays are a little bit lighter for me. Now, I could be, let's just say, sitting in my room right now, scrolling on Instagram. But because I decided to come sit down and make a YouTube video, even though I didn't feel like it, like genuinely, I promise you, I didn't feel like doing anything today. Like I actually for a second was like, maybe I will just sleep in. And then I thought, you know what? No, no, no. I'm going to just go sit down and just look at the computer. Like that was it. Like my input today was get up and come sit down in front of this computer. And guess what? I got like 30 minutes worth of work done, recorded this YouTube video. I'm uploading another YouTube video right now. I'm probably going to upload this one. And then by that time, my first meeting's going to start. And there we go. Versus I could have just sat there and done nothing. But the inputs is what changes it. It's just the little like, you know what? I'm going to get up and I'm going to do this extra thing today. I'm going to make more YouTube videos. I'm going to go to the gym more. Okay. Crazy enough, this is an input for me, but I take a lot of progress pictures. Like an unhealthy, obsessive amount of progress pictures. Like if you looked at, like honestly, if you looked at my camera roll, you'd be like, this guy is the biggest narcissist I've ever seen in my entire life. Because literally, bro, I take like an unnecessary amount of progress pics. But it's because my physique is like the most important thing for me right now in my life. In fact, I'm competing in a jiu-jitsu tournament in 10 weeks, and I entered the tournament at 200 pounds. So I have to drop to 200 pounds. I haven't been 200 pounds since I was fucking playing with Legos. 10 years, 11 years it's been since I've been 200 pounds. Okay? I have to drop down. I have to drop 30 pounds. I've been eating super healthy. But notice how I'm changing what I'm putting into my body. I'm not eating McDonald's anymore and Taco Bell. I'm eating turkey and rice. And here's the thing. Over enough time, I look and I'm like, oh, I can't go get that stuff. I can't go get McDonald's because I already know it's going to like impede my progress. And at some point, it gets to a point where like I just don't even want it. I went kayaking the other day with my friends, and we stopped at a McDonald's before we went to like get to the lake or to the river. And I remember sitting there thinking like, oh, dude, I don't even know if I want this. Like genuinely, like I was more interested in like just not eating anything than getting McDonald's. Now I did get something because I was like, all right, I'm not gonna like eat anything until until dinner time. And I got like a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I used to love bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits. In fact, I used to get a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, 2 of them, and I would get 2 meals and get the hash browns and put the hash brown in the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. This time I just got 1, and halfway through it, I was like, this sucks. Like genuinely, like I just did not want it. Because over the last 3 months, the only thing that I have eaten is ground turkey, rice, sweet potato, and eggs, and steak. Those are the 5 things that I've eaten. And onions, 6. In 3 months, my body cannot handle it. Like it genuinely just doesn't want it. Because my identity has changed so much. The other thing that I want you to understand too, and I was talking about this with the Lego analogy, right? When I was playing Legos, another reason I stopped playing with Legos was because I also got an Xbox. Like I started playing video games. So video games were obviously more interesting to me than playing with Legos. So because there's more dopamine that you get from it. So I started playing way more video games than touching the Legos. It wasn't an issue for me. I replaced Legos with video games, but not because I stopped playing Legos and I was like, okay, I have to change and pick something else to play with. Right. I didn't think about it like that because a lot of people do that. Right. You'll stop vaping and you're like, OK, I'm going to run more because that's going to make me feel better. Like what you're doing is you're putting the habit on a pedestal and you're saying, I identify as a person who cannot defeat this habit. And so I need to put like barriers on myself. Or I need to like put it all the way up here to say like, oh, I can't live without this thing, so I need to keep it so far away from me because I identify as a person who needs that thing. That's what happens when you treat a habit like that. And that's what happens with a lot of people. You try think about this. Like when was the last time you tried to quit a bad habit of yours? And it failed miserably. It's because you pedestalized it. You said, okay, I'm going to quit vaping. And then the first day went by and you were thinking about vaping all day and you were you were asking ChatGPT, how do I make the urges go away? And you learned a little trick to do this right here. Or maybe you read that book by Alan Carr, How to Quit Smoking. And you wanted to read that and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to read this book. And then Alan Carr says in the book, he says, oh, don't stop vaping until after you're done with the book. So that way you get all the knowledge. So you're like, oh, I'm going to go a couple more days. And then maybe you're like, oh, I'm going to hit my friend's vape when I see them, just to like, you're asking your friends, bumming a hit off of them. And then all of a sudden you're just back to it. Because you always identified as a person who needed to stay away from vaping instead of just identifying as a person where vaping isn't an issue. Actually, I think Alan Carr touched on this pretty well in his book. I would recommend reading it because he kind of expands a little bit more on the point that I'm making here. But like, we don't have the urge to shove heroin needles inside of us. Hopefully, like maybe you do. I hope you don't. If you're watching this, I don't think you have the urge to do that. But like, I don't have that urge. Like, I'm not scratching my head right now. Like, where's my heroin? Right? Like a heroin addict would, because I've never done it before. It doesn't align with my identity. I don't think about heroin. And so you have to change your identity. You have to change the way you think. Because thinking about the habit and pedestalizing it. In fact, actually, it becomes a worse habit when you're sitting there all day thinking about how bad you want to do the thing, but are withholding yourself from it, using willpower to not do it. That becomes a bad habit on its own. That becomes like, it's worse for your mental health. Think about it. You wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, I'm not going to jerk off today. I'm not going to jerk off today. I'm definitely not going to jerk off today. Okay, I got out of bed. Okay, I'm not going to jerk off. All right, I'm going to go sit down and I'm going to start working for the day. Okay, not going to jerk off. And then you see like something that's, I don't know, you open up Instagram and you see like a provocative picture and you're like, okay, I'm not going to jerk off. I'm just not going to jerk off. Not going to jerk off. Like, bro, you're going to fucking jerk off. Like, you're basically telling your brain, like, you're going to jerk off. When you change your identity to someone that just doesn't do those things by doing other actions, you no longer have that problem. You no longer have that problem. You're not sitting there all day, oh my God, okay, I made it to day 50 of not vaping. You just don't do it, right? Like for me, again, I didn't have a specific like, okay, I'm done. I'm never drinking again. I just stopped drinking as much as I was before. Like, yeah, again, like I said, for me, bad example, but I do drink occasionally here and there. But like I said, maybe 3 or 4 times in the last 90 days, which is a lot less than I used to. But I didn't set a hard quitting date. It's just like, I don't have time to drink anymore. I'm working. Tomorrow morning, I have shit to do. I have inputs, right? I'm booking calls on my calendar to speak with prospects, okay? Because I have good marketing strategies in place so that I can actually like see more people on my calendar, have more conversations, and scale my business. If that's something you're interested in, if you're looking to get more people in your calendar, you can click the link in the description to book a call with me and we can talk about doing that for your business. Just saying, just figured I'd bring it up. But I have that going on tomorrow. I'm spending money on ads, bro. I'm spending money on ads for my business. That's expensive. I don't have time to drink alcohol. I can't. Think about this, okay? I have calls tomorrow morning. I cannot go tonight and get drunk and then wake up tomorrow morning and perform my best for the calls that I have tomorrow. I can't do it. I can try. Like, I definitely could try, right? I could try to go out, but here's the thing. If there's a higher likelihood chance that I will close more deals by not drinking, then I'm not going to drink. And it's not a like, oh, like maybe I shouldn't drink. It's just I don't want to because I've been operating like this for the last, I'd say like 5 months now. 5 months I've been operating like this. And so now I'm finally at the point where like the little monster, like the urge is just not there. I don't want to do it. All right. And that's how it should be in your life. I didn't quit drinking. I just stopped drinking because it was no longer helpful for me. I didn't quit anything. I just stopped doing it. When you, I don't know, you always hear like the child touching the stove. Like if a child touches the stove, the child burns their hand. And then the child doesn't go, oh, I have to stop touching stoves now. They just don't touch stoves anymore because the stove hurt them. Treat your life like this too. Okay? If the stove hurts you, if the alcohol is hurting you, if the drugs are hurting you, if the social media scrolling is hurting you, which you know it is, that's why you clicked on this video, that's why you're still here 25 minutes in. If you know it's bad for you, then stop it. You don't quit, you just don't do it. And then you don't think about it anymore because you've changed your identity, because you put in new inputs to where the person that you are today would no longer even do the activities that the previous you did. And yeah, sure, it might suck for a couple days. But after that, you don't have an issue with your bad habits anymore. This was a bit of a longer video because this is a very important topic, and I'm hoping that I drilled the message home. Change your identity. Put in different inputs. Figure out what you need to change. Maybe you need to change your environment. Maybe you need to move out of your home. You need to go somewhere else. Be away from the people that were coercing you into doing those activities. Get away from the environments that were coercing you into doing those activities. I live in a place right now, actually, where there's a couple bars within walking distance of me, like little like restaurant sports bars that I can go to. And I didn't leave the environment, but if it was bad enough, I could have just left the environment. Think about that. Your identity completely changes. Your repeated being is now in a different environment. Like, you're going to change. So do what you have to do to make the change in who you are today. Not stop the bad habit, not quit drinking, not quit vaping, not quit watching porn and jerking off, not quit dating women that make your life miserable. You just stop doing it because your identity's changed. You don't date women that make your life miserable anymore because you are such a high value man and you respect yourself so much that you wouldn't even put yourself in a position to date women that make your life miserable. You respect yourself too much. I hope I drilled the message home. 27 minutes in. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. And if you'd like more help on like personal development stuff, you can click on this playlist right here. I got more content for you to check out there.